What's up, my little title tots? How y'all doing today? And welcome to the Real Housewives of Atlanta review and recap season 15, episode 2. Y'all, let's drop right into the mess because the producers wasted no time getting into it. Now, when we last left our beleaguered heroines, right? Courtney was bobbing and weaving in Kandi's face. Kandi was about to... If you don't know what I'm talking about, last week there was a huge argument. And I was like, yo, why is Kandi so upset? Why is she? Because I've never seen Kandi on 10 like that, right? A lot of y'all was like, yo, Kandi had it right. That girl was trying it. Now, I will say, Courtney was fake apologizing. You know those fake apologies when someone's like, I'm sorry because you're so dumb and petty that you can't see how dumb you are. You know, when she was giving one of those apologies, right? But I was also being nosy on Twitter, and they said that the reason why Kandi was so mad at Courtney is because Courtney was going around trying to make it seem like Kandi was trying to sabotage her to get on show, but also people were saying that Courtney was trying to use Kandi's name as a reason to get on a show, trying to make their connection more than it was, okay? So that might have been, so even this whole storyline about her bobbing in Kandi's face might have been Courtney putting 20 on 10, right? Take that as you will. Then we get to Sheree and Martell. Y'all, Shereé, let me just say this. Shereé is good TV. Shereé tickles me. Shereé is funny, but Shereé is also the biggest dum-dum when it comes to an ain't-ish ninja. The funny thing is, I can't understand, and tell me out in the comments what y'all think it is. Do you think Shereé is really into Martell, or do you think she's using him for a storyline the same way he's using her? Because at the end of the day, this is Shereé's storyline, and it's a good storyline. So I'm not mad at you. You know, it's just like with Tyrone. I'm like, is Tyrone really out here making you look stupid, or is your storyline he's making you look stupid? You know what I'm saying? Shereé, get to the money, because we know those $300 sweatsuits ain't selling. Anyway, if anybody bought any of her She by Shereé, let me know in the comments. I do want an honest product review. I won't even drag it. Just let me know. Was the quality there? Was it worth it? Or did you see your neighbor in the Amazon 2-piece and was like, Anyway, like, oh, I wasted $300? I wasted $279. Okay, so, Kenya tries to tell Shereé that Martell is for the streets. He is a town bicycle. He is a himbo, literally, right? Never trust a big butt and a smile. So then Moneta jumps in. She clocked in and she was like, so you don't know my friend? And that's one thing I'll say about Moneta. Moneta is saying nothing, just a few little, let us know everything that we needed to do. Moneta was like, so you don't know my friend? He was like, no. And she's like, so you never? And he was like, and not just never. And everybody stopped and paused like, what? And he was like, period. And I was like, but that's not really a denial, Martell. So Martell looked guilty as all hell. But Shereé looked smug because she was like, oh, they think they're going to come in here and ruffle my feathers. My feathers weren't ruffled. True. You're not going to let somebody embarrass you at a party. But first of all, she's like, we're not wearing feathers today. First of all, Shereé, you had feathers in your hair. Yes. And second of all, this is bird behavior because you are so busy trying to make sure that they don't make you look stupid at the party in front of Martell. You don't realize that you're the only person. I love Shereé. I'm going to say it. Shereé is the biggest dum-dum in the world. And I love her for it. Kenya and Moneta was like, all right, none of my business. And Martell was like, say less. And Moneta was like, all right, left was said. And then Martell had a smirk on his face, the smirk that every lying dog always has when they think they got away with their BS. And Shereé had a smirk on her face, the smirk that every dummy that is literally defending a lying dog has on. But let's go on, right? But do y'all think that Shereé's just doing this for a storyline? And I'm being serious. So anyway, Kandi's recapping the fight. And Sonia comes up and she's like, oh my God, Kandi, what's wrong? Kandi's face when she looked at Sonia was like, I'm fine, right? So then Kandi says that she's really, really annoyed with Sonia because Sonia basically ambushed her and didn't let her know that this girl that has a problem with her was going to like be coming for her. Now, let me just say this, right? When Kandi first said this, I was like, girl, I didn't even know that Courtney had a problem with you when you guys were at, when they were at Sonia's house. And I was like, Kandi, you kind of put, like, what's the issue, right? But then I said, you know what? Kandi got good instincts, because no sooner was I saying, Kandi, you putting 20 on Tim. Like, why is it Sonia's responsibility? Because she was basically implying that Sonia was trying to start some mess, right? Be the new bone carrier. And I was like, girl, come on. And then Sonia went over to Shereé and was like, Shereé, yo, stop. Courtney, yeah, Kandi just tried to fight her. Girl, come over here. And literally pulled her over so they could go talk to Kandi. And I said, you know what? Kandi's instincts was right about Courtney, and they were right about the mess that Sonia is trying to start. And let me just say, I love it. So anyway, right? They go there. They're making fun that Courtney is like bobbing and weaving, bobbing and Rhea. Marlo is throwing craps, like, give me those craps, because she's just happy somebody else is getting to Kandi and that her name is out of it. She is in the best mood of her life right now. She's just getting, so then we go over to Shereé comes with Courtney to confront Kandi, right? Kenya's just like, I'm just wondering why my friend is in this space. That's right, Kenya, you better get your camera time. Then Sonia, the girl that started all this mess and told them to go confront Kandi at the party, comes into my son, change your outfit, change your vibes, spinning around. Can I just say Sonia and Ross are such a beautiful couple? They really, really are. So the girls sit down, right, in a group, because I guess Sonia's feathers and ruffles actually worked. They sit down to talk. And Shereé's telling what happened with Martell. And Martell, the camera keeps cutting to him. He's off in the corner trying to look calm, but he just looks scared. You know what he looked like? Remember when you get in trouble with school and your mom would come to like parent teacher night or whatever, and your teacher would be like, Tisa, can I talk to your mom for a second? Would you mind go out into the hall? And you stand and look in the hall, looking through the classroom door, and they're talking, and you're just sitting there trying to act like, I'm not worried. I didn't do anything wrong, but you did a billion things wrong. So you're just like, oh my God, what is my teacher saying? And you're just like nervous, like that's the way Martell was standing, y'all. Okay, so finally Martell can't take it, and he wanders back in the classroom to see if he's gotten in trouble with mommy yet. And listen, this is how you know Martell ain't ish. He is a master at deflecting. Somehow he knows how to get under Kenya's skin, which is to call her an HOA when he was like, oh, probably you answering everybody else's DM. And Kenya completely forgot what she was saying. And was like, what he just said? And I'm like, Kenya, are you serious? Martell, so what if you answering the whole world's DMs? What they got to do with anything? Also, Kandi stuck to the assignment. She was like, no. Pull the text up. But Martell got her sidetracked by saying basically she a loose woman. So anyway, they go into the phone to see Martell's so relieved because he's like, this is 2 years ago. This is 2 years ago. Kandi is like, we saw the DMs. There was a recent message you sent her. And honestly, I blame Carlos King. I don't care what you say. Carlos King was like, listen, Martell, sit down. We about to get this money. Kenya single, talk to her. This is what she likes. See if she take the bait. Shereé single, talk to her. See what she like. Shereé took the bait. Then Martell literally ups the ante, right? She literally ups the ante. He ups the ante and starts cursing at her. Kenya ain't going for that. She had Mark on her neck for how many years? She ain't about to let a Martell hold in his little tight, sweetie weedy shirt and suits, right? And suits literally walk all over her. So Kenya's like, what'd you say? This is a queen standing in front of you. And I was like, okay, girl, I see your point, but go. Because he shouldn't have been cursing at her. Shereé, because, she got some sense, stands up and was like, whoa. Martell, like, calm down. You can't be cursing at women. Like, again, Martell is trying to throw sand. He wants an argument to start so bad. So we stop talking about the DMs, and it worked because that's when Kenya was like, you lying piece of bed. You big on your wife and you gonna boba. She read him to filth. But I gotta say, it was all true. So then Shereé was like, girl, like what Kenya's in her face, like, blah, 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 blah. Rightfully so, right? Because she's heated. And Shereé was like, girl, I'm going to check him. Like, don't worry about it. But why would y'all bring this up at a party, right? Because Shereé has a good point too. Kenya, how did you expect Martell and Shereé to take it? Now, Martell took it too far, disrespected this and that, but how, like, they both wrong, but Martell is a lot wronger. But Shereé said she's gonna check him. So Kenya's like, she's feeling really dejected because Shereé is her girl, and Kenya's rode out for Shereé, and they actually have, I believe they have a friendship. So to see this man completely disrespect her, Kenya says words of wisdom, girl, the same way he talked about me, he's going to talk to you eventually. And that's true. I will say one thing. People say what they want about Kenya. And yes, I am a Kenya Moore fan. Kenya makes a lot of sense this season. Yeah, it could have been therapy. It could have been Mark. It could have been grown up. I don't know what it is, but Kenya has her mind right this season. The way she's viewing everything and the advice she's giving everybody about their men, Anyway, they cut to Shereé riding away with Martell. And, I kept waiting to be like, so when you go and check him, boo? Shereé ain't saying nothing. She was just sitting there combing her hair like, And Martell's like, I'm a king. I'm just like they queens. I'm king. You ain't going to disrespect me. And like I said, none of that was true. Me, Shereé, the cameraman, and probably the driver was just like, okay. And that's where, good. Again, dude, let me know in the comments. Do y'all think this relationship between Shereé and Martell is real? In the fact, do you think they're having fun? Shereé knows what it is. Martell knows what it is. And Shereé's just like, do what you want. Just don't embarrass me because, baby, I'm going to do what I want to. Shereé and that Chateau Shereé. And again, she's making money on Housewives again. I don't know how much money she's making. But that house of Shereé's is gorgeous. And the decorations are top dollar. The landscaping, everything. I know she needs some help paying those bills, and Martell can't help. As a matter of fact, Martell's trying to see if he can move in. But let's continue. Anyway, so we go over to Ralph and Drew's house, and I'm really wondering, like, Ralph, what's going on? Because we already know about the divorce. What's going on? How come Drew wasn't there? She better not be sitting there hiding with, like, holding a steak on her over her eye, right? Because Ralph. Anyway, Ralph got his best face forward, acting like Mr. Mom. Drew walks in. Apparently, she had been in Chicago with the two boys, seeing her dad. He's like, hey, Jojo, give me a hug. And I'm like, you want to hug that baby, but you couldn't adopt him? Okay, Ralph. She's giving Drew a welcome. Even Drew's like, hey, what's going on, right? I guess Ralph learned from last season, put a smiley face on. He wants to rehab his image. Drew actually tells a sad story. I didn't know she was going through this. Her dad has Alzheimer's and it's getting worse. He's in a nursing home. Her mom is there also. It really, really saddened me that she's going through all that burden because honestly, we're going to stop dragging Drew for this season because she's going through a divorce. And honestly, her dad is suffering from Alzheimer's, which is one of the worst things could happen. Drew said, sorry. I know that's how I felt when Drew, shut up. I have my sympathy, but I was just like, Drew said that she was like going through it, all this stuff. She wrote a song. She's really proud of her song. We all know Drew can sing. She opened up for Candace on tour. And then she just talks about the way that, like, she wished that she could see her dad. Her dad could see her or know her pursuing her dreams because he barely recognizes her now because he used to sing and it's for him. So it's like a really sad thing. And it's like, sometimes you have to just be reminded. And now some of y'all that people on TV have real lives. This isn't some drama. Like Drew is actually going through some things. And I'm surprised the ladies aren't rallying around her a little bit more while she's going through such a horrible experience. In any case, Ralph starts talking about the party, right? Then he was like, yo, you know that my cousin was there? And Drew was like, who's your cousin? And she was like, Courtney. And she's like, oh yeah, that's your cousin? All right. And Courtney's like, yeah, that's my great. And I was just like, somebody do a fact check. Somebody do the ancestry.com and find out if Ralph is really related to Courtney. Because right now I'm like, okay. All right, Ralph. All right, we know the way. Play cousins be. Okay, so then we go for Kandi and Sonia meeting up for a nice little lunch. Candy's like, playing nice, but she is in her head talking about, girl, what's going on? Anyway, Sonia was like, finally gets to it. They talk about the problems between Todd and like the career demands. And Sonia was like, oh, I get it. They went to Disney World. I see why Kandi expected more first from Sonia to have her back because the families actually vacationed together. Girl, we vacationed together. Our families did. Okay. So anyway, she was like, he was like, you know, she came on my house and she said this and that, and she said you were corny, and Kandi was like, you didn't take up for me, and she was like, yeah, and then Kandi was like, girl, shut up, and that was the end of it. So now Sonia, being that bone collector, we saw what happened with Shereé with the bone collector. It got her banned from like how many seasons? She's just coming back. You need to rethink it. Even Marlo has calmed down from being the bone collector. And Sonia, again, the bone collector is a very valuable position, but that sort of Damocles is always hanging over your head, right? Because at any time, it could fall down and you can be cut out. I'm just saying, we all know how the Real Housewives of Atlanta bone collectors. Also, this little aside where Ross and Sonia have this conversation about how we gonna work on baby number 2 if you already gone. Let me tell y'all something. I am so sick of housewives across the board making having a baby a storyline, especially when the woman does not really want to have a baby. Can we stop it? Can we normalize anyway, a baby? Shut up, Sonia and Ross. So anyway, we go over to OLG and Blaze Steakhouse, and Todd and Kandi are there. They're meeting with Philip, right? And they're going over new menus because apparently Blaze isn't popping the way it used to be. Used to be in a very hot spot, but then when the pandemic, business slowed down. Listen, being a restaurateur is hard. So Candy's like, so what's going on with this Mexican restaurant you're trying to open, Todd? And Todd was like, yeah, we still opening it. And I was like, what? I thought Todd ain't. And she was like, and I know where Candy's going at. She's like, how you going to have time for another restaurant? And you don't have time for me. And Todd's like, I made more money in my life than I ever made off of restaurants. And she's like, oh, so it's all about money. And he was like, basically. And she's like, but I thought your passion was writing movies. And he's like, it is. I'm going to use the restaurant money to finance my movies. And that's when I realized Todd and Kandi keep their finances separate. Right? Because Candy's financing Broadway plays. Todd's finance his own movie. And the way he was talking about the Mexican restaurant, I know Kandi might be an investor and whatnot, but I think that whatever the profit share is, Todd then uses his profits for his own stuff. That's interesting. Keep that in mind because it's. So the producer breaks the fourth wall and he was like, because Melvin comes in, the Candy's cousin, but that's basically like her son because she raised him like a son. And he was like, can I ask you a question? Like, are we going to talk about the elephant in the room? Apparently there was a bang bang at Blaze Steakhouse. Todd's like, we can't talk about it for legal reasons. And Melvin's just sitting there quiet. So then Kandi says in her confessional, there was an incident. There was an employee that came to work drunk and whatever. Let that chopper sing. Melvin got hit. And I was like, I wouldn't even been at the restaurant I would have been like, no, we're not stopping at the restaurant, the whole thing. I understand they wanted to get like some promo for Blaze, but then they cut to the girls and Shereé was like, we don't know whether we getting biscuits or bullets. Say what you want about Shereé. She is the biggest dummy, but baby, her drags are top notch. I don't know about that stuff. I will say you can say one thing about Kandi. She's completely honest about everything going on in her life. She is, whether it looks good or not. Also, can we just say that Kandi has been clocking in because almost every storyline in this show revolves around Kandi. Girl, you better secure your space as the OG Queen Bee of Housewives. So then we cut to Kenya on a play date with Akilah. Where is she? I don't even know who these two girls are. Then we Kenya is this new girl, Akilah. Akilah is gorgeous. She looks a lot like Claudia Jordan. In a way, not really, but a little bit. I see it in the eyes. They both have like cat-shaped eyes. So anyway, the girls are playing. They're best friends. Brooklyn and Akilah's daughter's there. They're having a ball. Kenya lets us know she got a little crush. She's been dating a man. He's tall, generous, kind, sweet. He's rich. Kenya ain't say rich, but we did some research. He's rich, honey, and not Portia Simon Gabodia rich, but rich. You right? This man be filing tax returns. All his businesses are open, and we know what he does for a living. Kenya said she got a little crush. Okay, Kenya, we're going to keep an eye on that too, because that's some. So then Shereé and Sonia meet up. I'm sorry. Yeah, Shereé and Sonia meet up for lunch. And, they're like, hey, girl, Shereé, her granddaughter is absolutely gorgeous. I think her name is Mecca, right? Beautiful little baby. Shereé's like, he's one of heart. But then Shereé is like, all this stuff happened. And then Kenya tried to label Martell as aggressive. And then Sonia got the nerve to be like, oh, just like she did with Ross. Ross was aggressive to Kenya. And not only that, shut up. If I hear one more person say, we can't be putting labels on these black men, shut up. Shut up. Martell was mad aggressive to Kenya. Ross was mad aggressive to Kenya. I don't know why men feel the need to be mad aggressive, but let's call a spade a spade. They was mad aggressive. But let's move on. So then Shereé's like, after that altercation, me and Kenya are in a good place, but I don't know anymore, which I understand because they did ambush you, right? They did ambush you. Kenya knows the reality TV game. So does Kandi. It was an ambush. It was meant to embarrass you. But Shereé, once again, is missing the point. Yes, everything you're saying is true. And Martell was trying to talk to her. And Kenya was not lying. And you so concerned with trying to one up Kandi and Shereé and them not seeing you sweat that you are completely letting Martell skate by. Unless this is a fake relationship set up by Carlos King. I'm just saying. Kenya and Shereé meet up to talk. And the thing is, Shereé is missing the point. Yes, Kenya tried to ambush him. Yes, she tried to embarrass him. Kenya's like, but a man should never be abusive. And Shereé's like, but did you get in his face? And Kenya was like, Shereé, you're making good points. Kenya, you're making good points. But Shereé, honestly, a man should never be in a woman's face. Like, for any reason. Shouldn't be cursing her out. Because here's the thing, Shereé. You are not a passive onlooker. You're not a passive participant. The way he treated Kenya is the way he's going to be talking to you. Those are his limits with women. The minute you say something he don't like, or he feels like, oh, you put him on the spot, he going to be cursing you out too. Shereé is always missing the point with men. And I see the point Kenya's making, like, girl, like, yes, it's me this time, but it will be you. Yes, I did these things, but do you understand as a man, as the way he handled it? Do you understand that 99% of men are not going to try to curse out your girlfriend because they told you in any situation that you DM'd her? Because at the end of the day, what the hell was you doing DMing Kenya? Anyway. Oh, really quick. Drew and Ralph are in the studio. They're going to produce. They're sitting there, and I got questions about that divorce. Because up until now, they've been acting like the perfect, we've been through ups and downs, and now we're so much more connected and so great. And Ralph's like, I like that, baby. She's like, I know you're switching positions. You already know. Like, literally singing love ballads with questionable lyrics to each other. Where did this divorce come from? Now I got even more questions. I want to see the producers go back in and see what's going on, because somebody lying. What came out the blue? Because right now they're playing happy, happy marriage. Anyway, back to Kenya and Shereé, right? They're sitting there talking. Before I forget, they were in the She by Shereé warehouse where they were literally putting in wrinkled sweatshirts. And the thing is with Shereé, I don't understand. How'd you just got a credible vendor, even a credible vendor from Teespring? Because Teespring, that's all you had to do was make it on Teespring, and they would have shipped it out unwrinkled and anything. Instead, she got these two girls who's charging her for steaming. And judging by what people said, she didn't pay extra for steaming. So everything came wrinkled up and whatnot. Anyway, also, Kenya walks in with this bad leopard print suit on the prowl. Listen, Kenya Moore is back. That leopard print cat suit looks so pretty. I want that. Don't get mad if y'all see me in the summer. If y'all see me in the summer bouncing around and that leopard piece, two-piece flowing with like some 20 with a 34-inch bust down, wet and wavy Brazilian curly. Don't say nothing. Anyway, they continued their argument about Martell. Shereé, you know the funny thing is, Shereé, you're making a good point, but you forget that you're in the middle of this. And I will double down and say the fact that she was like, yeah, but you guys stuck this narrative with black men, black women. I am so sick of every time somebody holds a man accountable. You can't be doing this. And it's like, shut up. Shut up. And second of all, right? The fact that Shereé is missing Kenya's point. Yes, Martell offended me. Yes, I might have done things differently. But do you understand that Martell is showing his limits with women? And do you understand that as soon as you do something to Martell that he thinks is out of order? Shout out to Councilman Wade's point of information. Out of point of order. No, point of information. Point of order. The real Eric Mays on TikTok, y'all. Listen, he's the reigning king of TikTok right now, and protect him at all costs. Contribute to his GoFundMe too. Point of information. Anyway, right? He was like, but do you understand that as soon as you cross the boundary of him, that's the way he's going to talk to you or treat you? Martell is showing that he has abusive tendencies, Dodo, and she's trying to tell you as a friend, if he will do this to me, when he gets mad, he will do it to you. And we all know Shereé like to pop her mess. Y'all, Shereé doesn't get it. It's going over her head. She's busy defending this man that she has known for 2 minutes against what he actually basically ended up admitting he did. Y'all. Anyway, the next episode, Drew and Ralph are on a date playing their fake little happy family, because we all know what happened with that. Kenya is what is Kenya doing? Being cute and adorable. Kandi is on 10. Her and Courtney are going at it. Kandi clocked in. Marlo, who barely had any time, is now popping up to be something happened to her nephew. And Candace Dillard Bassett drove back to Atlanta. Y'all, season 3, this season looks so good. Episode 3, I will be here. Also, let me know if you guys want me to start doing lives in addition to the reviews. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.